A regularly scheduled program, and with the introduction of the patriarch of our clan, Donald Richardson, who has known, well, I almost said known Verla for longer than anyone in the room, but with Betty and Maxine in the room, that's not quite true. So the man who has known Verla for the longest in the room. Take it away.
My job is simply to remind Verla, especially, but everyone in her family, of Verla's most memorable moments, her 10 most memorable moments. And I have a list here.
The top 2.
Okay, and in roughly chronological order, they go something like this. Number 1, and this happened very early when we were first, well, I shouldn't say when we were first married, because it was about when Scott was 1 year old or 1.5 years old. We were living in St. Paul, Minnesota, in an apartment, and one day our groceries were stolen. We had the door unlocked, we had the little kitty seat in the right place, and we had to go back in just for a moment, just for about 100 feet, but when we came back, our groceries had been stolen. And this was when times were very, very tight. And we did not have very, very many groceries, but we got what we needed, and we got a coloring book for Scott, and they were stolen. And when we got home, Todd, or Scott, okay, that's a mistake I make all of my life. They're interchangeable.
You can call it Harold.
And Scott's comment on it was, I wish that whoever stole our groceries has a little boy that likes to color like I do. Todd, when he came along, had a penchant for climbing trees, and he would climb any tree that was available. And when he was 7 years old, we went to my folks' house, which was then in Saxton's River, Vermont, and we went to my Aunt Ethel's. We had to say aunt back then. Aunt Ethel's. And there was a spruce tree that ran maybe 75 feet tall. And we were looking around for Todd, and he was nowhere on Earth. And what we did see was at the very, very top of this tree, Todd had climbed the whole thing. And Verla wanted me to go up and get it. and being a forester myself, I said no. And he had to come down by himself. You can't pull a kid out of the top of a tree, even if you could get there. He came through, everything was okay. But that was probably one of her early big scares in our married life. Another big scare in her life happened when we lived in Sioux Falls. Verla and I decided that we would go to a movie that was not meant for children, but fortunately 1 block away there was another movie theater that was meant for children. And we decided that since the two movies coincided, we would let them off there, get them the tickets, get them in, and then go to our movie. Well, it so happened that their movie let out maybe 15 minutes or so before ours did. And Brad, then maybe about 10, and Todd, a year and a half younger, decided that they knew the way to get back to our place in Sioux Falls. It was Panicsville for us. The back of the movies was the Sioux River. And we could see all of the horrible things that would be happening. And the students that usually took over the house when we were gone were there. They joined the search. I don't know if the police got into it or not. No, they did not. But after about an hour and a half, or 2 hours of panic, they came down the street, and that was that. But it was the first, probably biggest scare after the tree incident that we had.
Sorry.
Yeah,
You did all the way home. And you were the... All right.
Okay.
They wanted to...
Okay. I don't like pizza. I don't mean to offend anybody that does, but I really don't care for pizza, and Verla's always insisting that we could find some recipe for a pizza that would work. And she read somewhere, I don't know, she read somewhere in the newspaper or maybe a tabloid that you can make very good pizza pleasing to everyone with mayonnaise. And so she baked a pizza smothered in a can of mayonnaise. No one liked that. Probably the greatest adventure that we had as a family was the summer that we spent at Oslo, Norway. We had been to Harlexton Manor, had seen the sites there, had participated in English life, but I got $1,000 from somebody to go to the University of Oslo for the summer. And so in our 1925 silver mix, we drove to Oslo by way of Italy and Germany and Sweden.
Swiss Alps. Don't forget the Swiss Alps.
And oh yes, and the Alps too. We drove over the Alps twice, and we were passed by a little old woman in. I better be careful about that. Little old women in goat carts, and I floored it all the way, and we put snow in the radiator when we got to the top of the Alps to cool the motor down. But we had a wonderful time there. We rented half of the townhouse, and the university helped me find it, and I would spend my days mostly at the university. On the way home, there was this strawberry vendor that I always stopped and favored with trade, and we could not afford meat, so we ate fish and eggs most of that summer. But it was just an ideal situation. I've been back to Norway since then, And that was special. That was a big time with just family alone, and it was tremendous. When Scott went to Harvard, it was probably the most painful time that we had. He was 17 years old, and he got into Harvard, which we were delighted with, but then it came to delivering him. And Verla and I took him up there, and we let him off. We had dinner, which we called our last supper. And then we let him off at Harvard Yard, and we were going to be brave, but we were shy of that. We started crying, and this is the hardest I think either of us have cried. And we cried like babies. All of the way back to Oxford.
We did that with the other two as well.
Well, they were fine by Worcester.
I think that was something that just hits. I guess it isn't just that we're leaving him there, but something happened to our family. It would never be the same after that. We kind of knew that, and that got to us. One of the guests that, as chair of the English department, I had to see to entertaining back in those days was Edward Albee, who wrote Who's It Play Virginia Woolf and The Lady from Dubuque and things like that. Probably the second or third most prominent playwright in America at the time. And Verla and I got to entertain him. And we took him out to dinner, a fashionable, I think, Henderson, Kentucky diner. And then we got back to campus, and the theater department was doing his Lady from Dubuque at the time. And he sat right in the middle of the auditorium, and Verla sat next to him, and I sat next to her. And throughout the performance, people were shoving their programs, yeah, right, our way to the side, and then we passed it back to her, and she was passing it back to me. And we spent 2 days with Edward Albee. And he gave me some of his secrets, but not all of them. And that was probably the most celebrated individual that I had anything to do with. Later on, we did have Arthur Miller, but that was a bigger dinner, and a lot more people were involved. But with Albee, it was largely with the two of us, which was kind of big. And then number 8 item of things Verla would remember would be our second trip to Harvard. We were thrilled when Brad got into Harvard too. And we've been through that. We knew that we would be brave this time, but we weren't. We bawled our heads off again, all the way from Boston to Harvard. And, all the way from Boston to Hartford. And the third, the ninth thing.
It was like Washington
we had calmed down quite a bit because we had to stay overnight with our sister in Waterbury. Okay, the ninth most memorable thing that in Verla's mind, I think, would be when Todd got accepted into Harvard. We were thrilled again very, very much, and we wanted to get him out there. We'd been through this once, so we knew how to do it. And again, would you not, we started crying at Harvard Yard. We tried to hold back, for my sister's sake. But then it was very sad, this all the way to Washington, Pennsylvania. And the 10th most memorable event for Verla, I think, was her 80th birthday party.
Brad and I are going to do a dramatic presentation.
At least one of us will get this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you my creation. I pieced him together with a few pieces I found lying about, and now, with a flick of a switch, we will give him life. It worked! He lives! He lives! He lives! He's gonna say something. He wants to say something. What is it? What will his first words be? It's down the hall. Scott needs no introduction.
I've been introduced already. It's my duty here to introduce you to the woman of the hour. Some of you may not know a whole lot about her other than the handful of experiences you've had. So I'm going to present her entire life. So here we have the complete biography of Verla Richardson, abridged. Verla Jean Nilsson was born 80 years ago on Monday in a farmhouse near Montrose, South Dakota, not far from the metropolis center of Salem, whose population went well into the 3 digits. She made a living as a little girl charging into the chicken coop to get eggs from the surly hens who were protected from her onslaught by old fierce roosters that pecked her mercilessly. She learned early on to carry a heavy 2x4 into the hen house to show the aggressive fowl who was boss. She didn't learn to drive until she was 10. But before you knew it, she was navigating those cornfields with the best of it. Verla Jean moved from the farm to Salem during her high school years and lived with other precocious teens who taught her the wicked arts of hairdos and bowling. She reached stardom at Salem High by joining the cheerleading squad, and it kept encouraging the opposing team to go back to the woods because, as they say in the local dialect, they ain't got the goods. Maxine went to the same high school, so yeah, she knows just what we're talking about. Not content with the fame arising from her pom-pom virtuosity, Verla went all the way to the Twin Cities of Minnesota after graduating from high school, worked at 3M in St. Paul, and before too long met a student named Don Richardson, who was known to his college friends as Stretch. A wishful verb that never quite did the trick. 3 summers later, the family moved to Maine for a year, just for the lobster, then back to the Twin Cities, then to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and finally for a long spell in Evansville, Indiana, home of the barbecue and 100% humidity. At the University of Evansville, she fulfilled a lifelong dream of a liberal arts education, getting a bachelor's degree and a master's degree without getting a single B, not even in phys ed. Feeling at home on campus, she became an employee at the U of E, first in the business office, where she made students pay a lot of money, and then more gratifyingly in the financial aid office, where she gave money away like crazy to appreciative students who never had any complaints. We spent 1 semester at U of E's campus in England as a family in 1973, where we discovered Monty Python. And Mom and Dad ended their days at the university with a semester at the English campus in 1999, where they discovered the Spice Girls. A few years after retirement, they moved into a Minnesota forest where they communed with nature and explored the wonders of Netflix and the DVR when they weren't occupied entertaining the kids, the grandkids, and even the great-grandkids. And every fall and winter, the Vikings would find new and different ways to disappoint them. And now they moved back to Indiana and live here in Northwood Manor, where every week or so there's a surprise party. Mom stays active and goes for walks every day with Gus and waits impatiently for Dad to catch up. And most nights she can still stay awake till as late as 8:30. So Verla Jean has had a wonderful life surrounded by family and friends who love her dearly. With that and Facebook, who could ask for anything? So getting all artistic, and I think that a mom deserves a poem, something on the order of a Shakespearean sonnet or a Keats or Shelley ode or something. So I've been working at coming up with some verse, some belles lettres. So here, let me take a stab at it. All right, see if you can follow the meter. There once was a woman named Verla, whose name didn't rhyme with anything, so I couldn't get a limerick out of her. I guess I could put on an English accent and say hurler or curler or something, but that would just be too contrived and pretentious. I mean, pretentious, moi. Let me try again. Where she comes from? Okay. There once was a farm girl from Salem. If you show her some haystacks, she'll bale them. I feel pretty dumb. The rhymes just won't come. If you think of some others, email. Let me try it one more time. I think I'm on a roll here. I'm getting closer. Let's try the state. I think this is going to go somewhere. There once was a girl from Dakota who left after filling her quota of gathering eggs from between chickens' legs and fled to St. Paul, Minnesota. Let me close with an ode dedicated to today's special celebration. There once was a pretty young lady who one day turned out to be 80. She says, I'm still glamorous. My husband's sure amorous. And he looks just like Warren Beatty. close with a song in honor of Mom. Again, this is sort of a mom's life in song. And I wrote it all by myself, all alone last week, along with Paul Simon. Okay, and we can sing along with the chorus after you figure out what it is. All right, let's see if we can go there. I am just a farm girl and my story's simply told. I abandoned all my chickens and for the glamour of the cities and a 9 to 5. Then I met Stretch and the girl laughs so much she wants to laugh. I thought he was a catch. When I made my home and my family, I was no more than a girl with my confidence in Donald and the blessing of a growing brood of baby boys. With a glow seeking out the parks and preschools where beloved children go, searching, bursting out with pride that only parents know. I keep wanting to sing the boxers, all right? Verla, Verla, la, 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 Verla, 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 asking only for some knowledge, I come looking for degrees, I get an offer from the U of E's professors of humanities. I do declare there were times when I was so in shape I took a gym class there. Everybody, Verla, 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 Verla. I'm working for the business office, wishing I could run financial aid. Where the students getting scholarships keep greeting me, needing me, tuition paid. In retirement stands a mother and a grandma of her clan, and she carries all the memories of all the years that made her life an endless stream of gladness. Now she's turned another page. I am 80, but the mother doesn't age. 3 times now. Verla, la, Verla, la, 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 here, and we're going to play this song in honor of Mom. One of the humorous bits of their lives in Minnesota these last many years was they had a bird house in the back, and that fascinated them. And Mom would go out and look at the birds, and she would chase the squirrels away from eating what the birds were supposed to eat. But what was fun about this is that Mom hated birds all our lives. It was one of the features. It was one of the features of our lives as a family is that Mom hated birds. It all went back to the old chicken coop problem. And so the song we're about to sing got to be kind of sort of a family. Our notion of Mom's theme song when we were growing up. So here it is.
Okay, ready?
Spring is here, suffering is here. Life is skittles and life is beer. I think the loveliest time of the
free. All the world sings in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me as we poison the pigeons in the park. When they see us coming, the birdies all shine. They still go for peanuts when covered with cyanide. The sun shining bright, everything seems alright. The boys play pigeons in the park. La 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 dee dee dee. We gain notoriety and cause much anxiety in the Audubon Society with our games. They call it impiety and lack of propriety and quite a variety of unpleasant names. But it's not against any religion to want to dispose of a pigeon. So if Sunday you're free, why don't you come with me and we'll poison the pigeons in the park. And maybe we'll do in a squirrel or two, and we're poisoning pigeons in the park. We'll murder them all, it's never and merriment. For the few we take home to experiment. Our pulse will be quickening with each drop of strychnine we feed to the pigeons. It just takes a smidgen to poison the pigeons in the park. And now, Chloe and Zoe are going to,
What are we gonna do?
we'll find out,
Just left that pretty open-ended.
present a dramatic rendition of
Can you just kind of okay. In the middle.
So let's put
There.
this over here, and you will be over there. So, and get your props together. Quick word of explanation. This is a drama in 6 acts that depicts shall we say, a pattern in my early life and Mom's experience as a mother. And so, if you are ready, go ahead, Zoe. This is Act 1, circa 1963.
Hi, how are you? Mom, what is it, Brad? Todd is trying to eat an entire bottle of aspirin.
Act 2, sometime later.
Mom, Todd was jumping off the hayloft and he hit his head and knocked himself out.
Act 3.
Mom, Todd stepped on a nail and it's sticking out of his foot.
Act 4.
Mom, Todd was sliding on the ice and he fell and knocked himself out.
Act 5.
Mom, Dad hit Todd with a tennis racket and there's blood everywhere.
And finally, Act 6.
Mom, Dad hit Todd with a golf club and he's out cold.
Sorry, Mom. And Max, if you are available. wonderful. Max is going to favor us with a little piano tinkling of his own composition. Oh, there you go. Sorry. One more dramatic rendition from Brad and me. And Gus is here. So I always felt like I had a special affinity with my mom because we're both the babies of our family. Norman, you can probably relate to that as well. Mom is the youngest of, with a 21-year span between the oldest and youngest. I am the youngest of three with just a little less than 4.5 years between us. And I was also the youngest of 24 grandchildren on my mother's side, and so believe me, you get the full youngest child experience at those kinds of family reunions. And we're very happy, Sarissa and I, to have my parents living with us now and able to give Gus, young Gus here, a good start in life. And Gus, of course, is carrying on the tradition as the youngest of the youngest of the youngest, and the youngest grandchild of Verla and Don.
Zoe was the youngest before, and now she's...
Well, Chloe, the youngest of me, and then Chloe was the youngest grandchild and has been displaced. And I'd be surprised if anyone beats Gus in that. Who knows? Who knows? He's naturally shy. And I think about how, my mother was born during the Great Depression and before World War II, and all of the amazing changes in the world that she has seen in her 80 years. And I wonder about Gus and what kind of amazing science fiction world he's going to grow up into. My mother's parents were born in the 1890s, and I reflect that they lived to see and experience the 19th century. And with the blessing of Providence, young Gus will hopefully live to see the 22nd century. And so that's quite a span connection over time. And it makes me feel very good to know that he, like his father, will always have a special affinity with his grandmother. So I'd like to sing a song that takes me back to some of my earliest memories and something I connect with a special time and place. Goes like this. We're gonna win, twins, we're gonna score. We're gonna win, twins, watch that baseball zone. Rock up a home run, shout it, hooray. Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today. Cheer for the And I'll play one other song that I wrote myself some years ago. It's, again, about a special time and place, and mostly it's about my mother and what she gave to all of us when we weren't even paying attention. Sometimes it's hard to go on, taking things as they come and so on, losing things that you used to know, and nothing stays the same. Now I stand on the edge of blackness, I look behind the times and looking back, yeah. Like the times the time has left its tracks, it's a long and hard to train. Then a silhouette in crystal casing across my mind, some scenes seem to flash in the view, showing times I left behind. Then I feel a chill of wet raindrops breaking the wake inside. Crystal cask and there is looking back, giant shadow face outside. Sometimes I wanna go to where I grew up in South Dakota, where I recall a time I know to call to mind the lines of time that rode on, understanding how the clouds have flowed on, spread the rain that falls on South Dakota, bringing back the tiny striking note again. Hard to note it then. There's a place I can always find it, facing back the weary, worry-minded, cutting through the melancholy grind. It always stays the same. I can see the sun of South Dakota, I can feel the touch I'd always know. Survive the transitory winds that blow tomorrow across the plain. I can face the turnaround in circumstantial contingencies, timeless scenes around the Cupid line, all mirrors show I see. I can face the changing times that will come from. I can because I know the place that I come from. Sometimes I wanna go to where I grew up in South Dakota, where I recall a time I know to call to mind the lines of time then rode on, understanding how the clouds have flowed on, spread the rain that falls on South Dakota, bringing back the timeless striking note again. Been the line between hot and cold, many's the time that I've been told you shouldn't waste your time regretting. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look behind at all the self-defining images you can't find. You understand when you get burned. And now, without further ado, I'd like to invite the entirety of the Brad family onto the stage for a special musical presentation.
Hey everybody, we're gonna have to get plugged in. Half a sec.
I'm sorry.
In the meantime, just remind everyone we have drinks over there and. if
And
you-
there's lots of food downstairs,
Yeah.
so if you're getting hungry, we're almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just hit this thing here. Good. What? Somewhere in here is a volume control, I feel convinced. That's not the right one.
So you went down the wrong channel.
Oh, okay, hang on a second. No.
Chloe, maybe you can tell another joke.
We have to put it.
What did 0 say to 8?
What?
Nice belt.
That's a good one.
No, that's all I have. That's it.
Okay, hi. I'm Brad, as you know. It's not like we were assigned themes or anything. They just sort of naturally came to us. I could tell by my brothers that they sort of had their own view. My theme, kind of growing up in this clan, was entertainment. Just because that's what I knew would please my mom, the most. So as you saw already, a couple of the skits that we did, those are. I know that you probably don't. I don't want to flatter myself that everyone's following my Facebook page because I'm posting all the time. So, but in case you're not, I just went on to do entertainment for the rest of my life. I'm still doing it. But like those skits that we saw earlier tonight, those were our very first goes at entertainment at all, and we did it for the sole purpose of making my mother giggle. And it worked. And we were good at making her laugh, and then after a while, she decided that we were so good at making her laugh that she would share that with everybody else. So anytime anyone came over for parties or whatnot, then sometimes we called upon to perform. So that means that not only did we have to make her go, but they actually had to be sort of good, so that everyone would like it too. So anyway, that was my beginning. Then I grew my own rock band. It was really nice. I advertised on in the city pages for a while, and I just got like alternative responses and whatnot. So I just grew mine. It worked out nicely. We're just going to do a few songs here. This first one is it has nothing to do with Mom at all. It's just a song that we like to do. And that's so just for its own sake, we thought we'd have a go at this. Once again, we're the keepers. And yes, we do mean the Northern Pike. Okay, here's a tune. And it's a song about an outlaw. It's a Western, and just as a disclaimer, the outlaw isn't me. It's just a character, all right? So there you go. I'm gonna turn it down a little. And Marie, she's my heart's delight. Second one is Prism Baby, sure is on my trail. If he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got you, baby, but the devil caught me there. Took my $20
Yeah, Mom, do you know what to do?
But once you recognize the song, I expect support on the chorus.
Yes.
Go get trash can.
Okay. You ready? Costume change.
I made these.
One, two.
So as one final moment, Sarissa seemed to have stepped out with Gus. I wish you were up on the stage with me. Thanks to everyone for being here, for coming near and far to be part of the celebration today. There's also a lot of people that are wishing Mom well and thinking about her that could not be here. On behalf of all of them and on behalf of everyone in the room, we would like to welcome Mother up to the stage and present her with a gift. Hold it if you want while you unwrap. Yeah, it's not precious. Oh, we didn't bring a knife or.
Oh yeah, we need that. Good job.
We'll have Act 7 here.
Oh my goodness. Over the past 80 years. Oh my goodness, I hope you all get a copy of this.
Speech.
Do you expect me to speak? You can see how much fun I've had over the years, especially after Donald and the rest of the crew joined us. This has just been the most amazing and surprising day of my life. I could not have envisioned anything like this. And I love you all very much, and thank you so much for coming and being a part of this, and thank you to the family for their wonderful program. I'd like to hear it all over again. So, thanks very much.
There is lots of food downstairs and cake. There's cake. We'll sing happy birthday later. And make sure you stick around. We're going to take a group photo, probably outside somewhere. And we want to make sure everyone is in on that. So with that,
I was going to be entertained. Did you change? Sounds nice.
Did you go to my house? Did you go to our room?
We were. Yeah, you made the bed. And we saw your office downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your team's your
Yeah, we sat up. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. We're great. You're good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Like Ferdinand was cat.
Yeah, well,
No pictures.
no pictures.
No pictures.
Oh, this is, yeah.
This is like heavenly right here, right?
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Coming in the driveway.
Driveway is really, yeah, great.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you better go downstairs.
We need to review your.
My crew? You know it.
They talked about
Jesse.
You're saying you should have said Mrs. Richardson.
Well, we did the last verse. We saved it for the very last verse. There was, there was all the applause. Was, well, Troy's not here. We need Troy.
Troy.
I think he's downstairs. We'll take it downstairs.